Hey girlies, it's Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I thought it would be fun to do a drugstore starter kit. I've been wanting to do one of these videos for a while because you guys know I love drugstore products. So I am wearing all of the products on my face today. I wanted to kind of demonstrate the products to you as I'm talking about them. So this will be kind of like a tutorial as well. And we are using one of my palettes because so many of you guys always ask me for more tutorials using these. I just don't want to like bombard you with my palettes all the time because some people don't really like it and then some people really love it. So it's just like I'm trying to be in the middle. But yeah, we went ahead and did this look using my palette, but we'll get to that. Let's go ahead and start with primer. I have two that I absolutely love from the drugstore. One is by Barry M and this is called the Pixie Skin Blurring Beauty Elixir. I have mentioned this on my channel before and I feel like it's a dupe for the Fasadi Skin Tune Blur. It has a liquidy, creamy, kind of thick serum to it, but as you blend it in, it just blurs all of your pores and smooths your skin really nicely. Another similar one is by ELF and this is called the Blurring Primer Serum. It kind of does the same thing in terms of goes on like a serum. It really settles in and kind of blurs out the pores and smooths the face. So these two I definitely recommend. Now moving on to foundation, I do prefer a matte long lasting finish on me and also pretty full coverage because I do like to have that flawless beat. I'm not really like a skin like type of you can see my skin through the foundation type of person. So my first recommendation is the Maybelline Super Safe Foundation. I love how long lasting this is. They claim it is 24-hour wear, but obviously I've never worn it for 24 hours so I can't talk about that claim, but it definitely lasts me through my long days. If I, when I used to go out, if I had a lot going on in the day and I needed my face to last all day, then this is definitely the foundation I would go for. Not only is it full coverage, but it just dries down matte and it is really good for oily skin. So I definitely recommend it. The only thing is the shade selection is not the best, and also Maybelline, a lot of you guys let me know Maybelline is not cruelty free, so it's not a foundation for everyone, but it definitely is a standout foundation for my skin type. So I thought I would kind of give you guys an alternative, and the one that I am using today is the Revolution Conceal and Define. So this is also really full coverage. You need the smallest amount of this. It blends out so easy. It's really lightweight on the face, but it does dry down as well. Not as dry as the Maybelline one, but it is more of a demi matte finish on me personally. The shade range of this foundation is so much better than the Maybelline one. I think Revolution has 60 shades in this foundation now, so hopefully you can find your shade. But also if you do have more of a drier skin type, they do have the Conceal and Hydrate foundation, which is a hydrating version of this. It has just as much coverage, but it is more of a dewy, glowy finish. So if you do have dry skin, I recommend trying that one out. So next I like to move on to eyeshadow before I do my concealer, just to make sure that if I have any fallout, I can go ahead and clear that up with concealer. So for eyeshadow today, I did go ahead and use my baby, one of my babies. This is the Tropical Carnival palette, my collab with Revolution. Now, in terms of drugstore products, you don't have to get this one if you're not into color, but Revolution seems to be killing it in the drugstore in terms of the color stories they offer, the themes that they offer. The eyeshadow palettes, I really feel like they are killing it. In the UK anyway, I feel like in the US drugstore, there are a few other competitors in terms of color pop, of course. But when it does come to actual drugstore, cheap, affordable palettes, £5–10 palettes, Revolution definitely kill it in my opinion. So definitely recommend checking out Revolution if you don't have any eyeshadows in your collection. So I went ahead and started on the outer V with the deeper, darker blue colors. I took the color Navy and Bacchanal, which is the dark blue, and also the lighter sky type of blue. Blended that into my crease and also outer V, but kept it really low into the crease. I didn't bring it up towards the brow bone or anything. Then to blend out the blue shades, I went into the green, which is called St. Catherine. It's kind of like a grass green. And then on top of that, I went into the shade Juve, which is the bright yellow shade in my palette. And obviously if you blend blue and yellow, you will get green. So as you blend that yellow, the green will just start to lighten up, as you can see in my transition area, and you just end up with this beautiful gradient of blue, green, and then yellow right up by the brow bone. Then I did go ahead and cut the crease because I wanted the lid to be really defined. You don't have to cut the crease. This look can be achieved with just like putting the shimmers onto the lid. And then the first shimmer that I went into is called Shortney, and this is like a dark navy blue shimmer, and I just went ahead and put that on the outer half of the cut crease right next to the matte blue on the outer edge. And then I went into the shade Destiny, which is actually named after my little sister. I miss her so much. I haven't seen her since this whole thing started, and I put that in the center of my lid right next to the dark blue shimmer. And then on my inner corner of my cut crease crease, I went into Calypso, which is this gorgeous lime green shimmer. I love it so much. And that is basically how I got the eyeshadow look. But of course, I went ahead and added a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of glitter. And this is also a Drugstore product. I don't have many Drugstore glitter liners. However, Collection do this dazzling gel liner, and they're called Glam Crystals. I took the gold shade, which is called Funk. So that is the eye look, guys. We're going to go ahead and move on to concealer now. So I do have 3 favorite Drugstore concealers. My first one, you can probably guess, is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. This concealer, ever since it launched, has been my top favorite. I've actually been through one of these already, and this one is already kind of finishing, as you can see. The shades that I use is Deep Chestnut for my face, and then to highlight underneath my eyes, I kind of mix them underneath my eyes because this one is really, really bright. But they do have a deep olive shade, but I just feel like it's too yellowy for my skin tone. So I do like to mix these two underneath my eyes, as it gives me a more neutral look. So this is the shade Tan Sand, and I just use a tiny bit of this on top of this, and it just gives me the perfect color. But the formula of this concealer is definitely my favorite. They're so full coverage, guys. They dry down matte, which I love. They last all day. They don't crease on me, they don't fade, they don't do anything weird, which I absolutely love, and they last on my oily skin. So yes, e.l.f. definitely killed it with this launch. And then of course from Revolution, I love the Conceal and Define range. They have the original one, and then they came out with this one called Infinite Concealer, which was meant to have 20% more coverage. I do feel like I use this one now a bit more than this one nowadays, but that's only because I did test this out and I feel like it did have more coverage. And then the concealers that I use today, I feel like they're all very similar formulas in terms of full coverage, dry down matte, last all day. That's my type of jam when it comes to concealers. So these are the L'Oreal Infallible More Than concealers. They remind me so much of the e.l.f. concealers. Like, they're literally the same formula in my opinion, and I feel like the e.l.f. is slightly cheaper. The e.l.f. is £5 and these are £7. But they have the big doe foot applicators just like the e.l.f. one. I feel like all of these are kind of dupes for Tarte Shape Tape in terms of coverage and dry down matte, all of that stuff. Love these concealers. The 2 shades that I use, just like e.l.f. actually, I prefer to mix them underneath my eyes. This one is too light by itself, and it's the shade Almond, and then I mix it with the shade Honey, which is my face shade. So once I'm all concealed, I like to move on to loose face powders and set underneath my eyes, my oily areas, the center of my face. These are my 2 favorite Drugstore powders. So first of all, the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in medium deep. I love this so much. I think you guys, if you've watched any of my Drugstore videos before, you would have seen me mention this. I picked this up last summer when I was in New York, and because you can only get it in the USA, and I fell in love with the formula of this. It just smooths and it blurs all of your pores. It's lightweight on the face, and it just looks really, really good, and it just like smooths and mattifies, and I can't say enough about this powder. It is so good. And then another powder that I absolutely love are the Revolution I Heart Revolution scented baking powders. I love this powder. It is once again just really mattifying, smoothing, blurring, gorgeous formula. This is the shade Chocolate Banana, but what I've actually done is taken the shade Banana and Chocolate Banana because I kind of lost my summer tan, and Chocolate Banana became a little bit too yellow for me. So what I did, and then Banana is just way too light for me to use alone, so I took the 2 powders and like put them both into here. In my opinion, is one of the best baking powders from Revolution, and that says a lot because they have a lot. Now moving on to bronzer. Unfortunately at the moment I only have one Drugstore bronzer. I don't know what's going on, but you know, there's not tons to choose from in terms of for my skin tone, and until recently I would just use a darker face powder as a bronzer for me. But Revolution actually came out with a bronzer for darker skin recently, so I've been loving and using this every single day. This is the Revolution Pro Sculpting Bronzer in the shade In Robe. They also have a shade darker than this as well, but this shade works perfectly for me, and it's actually the first bronzer that I have from the Drugstore that is labeled as a bronzer. Of course Sleek have their contour kits and stuff like that, but the color is really grey tone, and I don't really contour anymore. I prefer a really warm tone bronzer to add like warmth to my face. Now blush on the other hand, I feel like I have a few options to choose from, so I have tons here to show you. Actually, we not only have blush palettes, but we have blush singles as well. So I'm just going to tell you guys a few of my favorites. The one I'm using today is by LA Girl. This blush has lasted me years. I'm not even joking with you guys. I've had this for years and not even a dent, and it's just so pigmented pigmented, you don't need a lot of it. And the shade that I recommend for my skin tone, deeper skin, is the shade Just for Fun. They do have options for lighter skin as well, but this is the perfect orangey. If you do like an orangey warm tone blush, this would be perfect. Another blush single is the Blusher Reloaded from Revolution, and I tested these recently in a full face testing video. Once again, very nice color for deeper skin, blends really well. But if you do want a palette that have a few blush options in one, the Nip and Fab blusher palette is gorgeous. This is the 02 Blush Bright, so they do have a lighter one. This is the one for deeper skin. I mostly use these two shades at the bottom, so this one is a good option. Then also e.l.f. have a blush palette. This is the dark. They do have a lighter one, of course. This one is filled with like berry type of colors. I do wish they included a more orangey tone in this blush palette. That would have just completed it for me, but the shades in here still show up on my skin tone, which is great. They're more of like a pinky berry type of color. Okay guys, so lashes. I have two lash brands that I absolutely love. The first one is GWA, Girls with Attitude. These are available at Primark, I believe, and they're like £5, under £5, and the styles that they come out with are just absolutely gorgeous. You can get wispy, spiky, like really fluffy lashes at an affordable price. Another brand that I really like, especially these lashes, is by Kiss. Kiss do really good lashes as well. This pair, this style, really wispy, really natural looking. These are called Chiffon, and it's from the Naked Drama collection. Guys, these lashes are absolutely beautiful. They're lightweight but fluffy and wispy. Now, if you can guess my favorite drugstore lip liner, I feel like you're a real subscriber. You know what it is. You know what I love. Glory lip liner from Revolution. I mean, is there any other lip liners in the drugstore? I don't know, because I don't see them. This is my favorite dark brown lip liner. It goes with every nude combo that I do. It is like a warm chocolatey brown. It applies so easy. It's so creamy. It just blends really well with my lip products. Now, my favorite lipsticks from the drugstore, I've mentioned this numerous times in previous videos, but it is the NYX Suede Matte Lipsticks. This formula of lipstick is gorgeous. It's so pigmented. I personally feel like they're dupes for the Huda Beauty Power Bullet. I can't remember what they're called, but those lipsticks, you know what I'm talking about. They glide on beautifully, but they have this matte kind of liquid lipstick look to it, but without being drying on the lips. Now, my favorite lip gloss from the drugstore is also from Revolution, and that is the Sheer lip gloss formula. I don't know why they've called it sheer, because to be honest with you, these are very pigmented lip glosses. They feel like a creamy lip balm on the lips. That's literally how they feel. They feel so comfortable. I can't explain it to you guys. Not one bit of stick to it, and they have such beautiful nude shades in the collection. My top three is Gone Rogue. This is like an everyday lip gloss that I can put on. It's more of a darker cinnamon type of color. The one I'm wearing today is the shade Muse, which is more of a caramel brown, my perfect everyday nude. And then last but not least is the lightest nude that I love, and this is called Vow. It's kind of like a lighter version of Muse. As you can see, they're both kind of caramel peachy, but Vow is just lighter. And last but not least, let's talk about setting spray. So the one I use today is the Maybelline Lasting Fix. This claims to have up to 16 hours wear, and it has a matte finish. For me, I feel like this is a very close dupe to the Urban Decay All Nighter. It does set your face so your makeup won't be moving around, and it does have a matte finish. However, it still gives my skin like a skin-like finish. It's not tight. It doesn't feel like, you know, those alcohols that you spray on your face and it just dries down and makes your face tight. It doesn't feel like that. Really comfortable setting spray, but it makes your makeup last longer. e.l.f. also do some good setting sprays. This is the Dewy Setting Mist. So this one I use when I've gone a bit too ham with the powders and I need to like settle it all in and make my skin look a bit more like skin. Adds a little bit of glow, so don't go too ham with it because you can get very glowy. We made it through this video. It was a very long one, a lot of talking on my part. I hope it was helpful and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you do have any of these products and your thoughts on them, or if you're going to pick any of them up. Let me know all of that stuff down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Make sure you are subscribed, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Take care. Bye.